Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome again to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. I certainly am. Okay, nice to have you on as you get your notices this morning. And I'll just clean off my glasses so I can see. Who's number one on the hit parade this morning? Brahim. And Brahim, you were on with us yesterday afternoon, and I didn't see your name, honest. Andrea, Niagara Falls. Leela, good morning to you. Nice to have you guys on. I hope you've had your coffee. Caroline, how are you? Lori Lee, would that be from Ventura, California? Betty Lynn, good morning. Mary from Norwich. And Nellie, our dear faithful followers, Shirley from Newfoundland, and Karen, Little Britain, and Gaetan, Gary, Bolton, Donna, Bell Valley, Annette, Comment ça va? Wendy, Markham, and Nick from our staff, good morning. Yolande, bonjour. Catherine, how are you? Parksville, British Columbia, bright and early. And Kim from Florida. How are you, Kim? Laurie and Ryan from Sarasota, Florida. Donna, Eget from Hearst, Ontario. Kadachu, how are you? New Jersey. Francis, good morning from Vaughan. Donna. And Yvonne from Petawawa, good morning to you. Veronica. And Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Nina, good morning. Adeline from LaSalle. Sharon, Kansas. Fran from Orangeville, good morning. Cheryl, West Virginia. Michael, how are you? Late, Mike, you're late. Carol, West Virginia. Donna, Newfoundland. Chantal, Ottawa. Good morning. Susan and Maureen from Penticton, British Columbia. Andrea, Nouveau-Brunswick. Good morning. Lisa, how are you? Eva and Anna. Coffee time. Fran, Tilsonburg. Good morning. And did I miss you, Nina? I didn't mean to. Crystal. She says I'm bright this morning, Louise. Gertie. Hi, Gertie. And Louise. And Maria. A couple of more and we'll get going. Gary. And Dave. Judy. St. Joseph's Island. Beautiful. And I didn't mean to miss you. Giselle, how are you from Hamner? Thelmas. And Regina. And Doc McHugh, and our dear friend from West Tennessee, Jessica from Calgary. And Wanda from, did I already say hello to you, Wanda? From Virginia, Nativity, Leela. And thanks, guys, for coming on. Mary, okay, now, I actually posted this already ahead of time because I wanted to talk about it this morning, okay? And that is, you know how I've been saying for a long time, okay? A long time, that 93% of the population, okay, has some form, in North America, has some form of metabolic syndrome, okay? Now, what is metabolic syndrome characterized by? Either, okay? Doesn't have to be all of them, either. High blood pressure, high but still normal blood sugar. It's higher than it should be, but it's still within normal limits. High triglycerides, low HDL, belly fat, okay? And I put another one in there, high uric acid. And I would put another one in there too with high levels of CRP, which is inflammation. All comes down to insulin resistance, okay? Insulin resistance. So, okay, why am I bringing that up? Because new study came out yesterday. A study that was done from 1998 to the year 2018 in the United States. It's a conglomerate, a meta-analysis of all the studies. And it says this, I'm going to give you quotes, only 6.8% of the population has optimal cardiometabolic health. Okay? A study done from 1998, 55,000 adults in the study, meta-analysis of these and a cross-section, and what it's coming to is the same conclusion that we've come to. Well, if you followed me in 2018, I actually wrote a book in there in metabolic health. What year was that? I can't even remember now. But I talked about 12%. It's worse than that. Only 12%, I said, was healthy. It's worse than that. They're saying only 6.8% of the population in the United States has optimal cardiometabolic health, which is a big word for metabolic syndrome. The ones that don't have it are 6.8% of the population. Guys, that is astounding. Because if you have any one of those symptoms, any one of those signs, I mean blood work-wise, and belly fat, which is observable, okay? You're on the Titanic. Now, this study talks about cardiometabolic, so what it does for the heart, of course. High blood pressure, heart and stroke, high blood sugar. Diabetics have lots of trouble with heart. Okay, that's why years ago, it was like a decree came down that it blew me away because I got such a bad headache. A decree came down from the FDA suggesting that anyone that was a diabetic ought to be on statin drugs. Guys, if you don't think there is a strong association between the pharmaceutical companies and the FDA or Health Canada, you're mistaken. They provide a lot of their funding. Well then, okay. But the problem is now you got a big, huge conflict of interest. Okay? Now, only 6.8% of the population, less than 7. Because when I say 93%, that's not a big number, is it, in terms of what's left? And they're saying 6.8% of the population. Optimized. Okay, so what they did is they categorized poor, intermediate, and optimal. Do you have optimal? I asked the question. You should know this. Because this is really important. This is prevention. This is prevention. If you can find out, this is why these are critical blood tests. They're critical. If you can find, well, it's a lot easier just to, blood pressure, you can do that on your own if you have a cough or go to a pharmacy or whatever, wherever they have it. Check your blood pressure. Okay? Now, I'm really big, by the way, because a lot of people get a misdiagnosis in terms of their blood pressure, and they're put on medications too early, in my opinion. Now, again, I'm giving you this for educational purposes, not as your physician. But I just tell you that the second number, as long as it's under 90, that's second number. Okay? That is really important. But anyways, I don't want to get into the weeds too much. But one thing that you can do is ask your doctor to make sure you get your lipid profile. And I'm not interested so much, like for me, and this is, by the way, is part of metabolic syndrome. At least they get this right, because they're not so interested in your total cholesterol or whatever. They want to know what your HDL is. They want to know what your triglycerides are. And my friend, that's me. Because metabolic syndrome is characterized by high triglycerides and low cholesterol, low HDL. Low HDL. And you can look at all those other numbers in your lipids, and for me, they do nothing. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. I never have, and I don't think I ever will, unless someone can convince me otherwise. But when I ever look at stuff and they try and talk about cholesterol and heart disease and whatever, I don't buy it. I'm very, very adamant that you need to keep your triglycerides down and your HDL, high density lipoprotein, up. So that's what you're looking for. And you're looking, blood pressure and blood sugar. Look, and the one that is, what I love about A1C, okay, which is a 3-month average of your blood sugars, because what happens, sugar is so toxic. Think about it for a minute. Your body is so smart. And sugar is so toxic that sugar latches on to your hemoglobin in your red blood cells. It hooks its wagon to it. It glycates it. It ages the red blood cell. And you can measure it. That's what A1C is. Okay? Advanced glycated hemoglobin. Your body knows how toxic sugar is. And by the way, we sent out our master class on metabolic syndrome this morning. You can watch it. Okay? You can watch it. We went into a deep dive on that. But, okay, so again, A1C, 5.4 is the line. If it's above that, you have metabolic syndrome. Well, Dr. Martin, my doctor hadn't told me anything about that. Says my blood sugar is normal, but your A1C, if it's over 5.4, you're on the Titanic. You're on the Titanic. High blood pressure, you're on the Titanic. High triglycerides, you're on the Titanic. Low HDL, you're on the Titanic. You have belly fat, you're on the Titanic. Okay, better to know it, right? Better to know it. And I was always fascinated with the story of the Titanic. I think I've read 10 different books on it. I mean that, okay? And it always fascinated me because this was the unsinkable ship. And it's such a good illustration of metabolic syndrome. because the world doesn't even know about it. It's like people on the Titanic. It was unsinkable. There were ships, and one of them was the Californian in the vicinity. And it in those days they used Morse code. And the Morse code guy from the Californian for hours was saying, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. There's massive icebergs in the North Atlantic. When I went to Newfoundland, my dear friends, the Bennett boys, Dr. Bennett, his brother Jeremy, they brought me to do a seminar in Newfoundland. I had never been to Newfoundland until I went to St. John's. And I saw, for the first time in my life, an iceberg. It blew me away, the size of it. And what you see is nothing compared to what's underneath the water. Of course, like I said, I've had a fascination since I was a young man with the Titanic and the story of it. But I've always used that illustration for metabolic syndrome. The Californian was going, watch out, watch out, watch out. I feel like the Californian telling people, don't wait till you get sick. Don't wait. You're already sick. You're already in trouble. Your body is trying to get your attention. And, they talked about here, it came out of the Journal of American College of Cardiology, okay? That study from 1998 to 2018, okay? And I'm telling you, it's going to be dismissed. It will not hit headlines. It only takes people like me who look and will see something like this and go, wow. I know I already said it, but now they're publishing it. And this is what they call, it was out of the Journal of American College of Cardiology. But it's not just your heart. And we've talked about this for so much. When you take metabolic syndrome, which is insulin. It's insulin resistance. It starts in the liver. It affects your heart. It affects cancer. It affects your brain, Alzheimer's, dementia, diabetes, okay, for sure. Because really, it all has to do with food. Now, there's other factors like sleep and stress, yes, but I gotta emphasize the thing that you can control the most is food. Guys, this is a study confirming what the Martin Clinic has been saying for years and years and years, and that is get off the Titanic. Turn the ship around. And even if other people don't listen to you, you do it for yourself. Okay? You do it for yourself. Your goal should be, okay? If you want a goal that's reachable, you want to get into that 6.8%. You want to get there. And I'm telling you, you can get there. I don't care how old you are, you can get there. Why do you think the reset was created? It's a start, man, because it actually gets to the root of the issue. I was on there this morning on our private Facebook group, and a lady came on. I love folks. Would you tell us if you're doing the reset? And the reason I want you to tell us is people get discouraged on the reset. They get discouraged. Dr. Martin, I only lost 6 pounds. Well, first of all, I'm going to show you what 1 pound looks like. I got 1 pound of fat. I don't have my 5 pounds with me. I wish I did. My word, do you know how big that is? It's a foot long and 6 inches wide. I only lost 5 pounds or 6. No, but I get it. Okay, and don't make that your goal. Don't make weight loss your goal. Make your metabolic health your goal. Because if you do that, okay, and it's not calories. And I've always said this, the healthiest weight loss program in the universe is the reset. It's not made for weight loss, but the results. And I just sort of typed up to this lady there today. Look, don't give up. One thing guaranteed, your body's gonna burn fat. So you might not see it on the scale right away, but you're burning the right fuel. You're burning the right fuel. And this is not yo-yo dieting. This is a lifestyle. It's a change. It's getting off the Titanic. If you can put that in your crop and think about that more than anything else, it's the key. Because when we get a study like this, that was already out in another form, but when the Journal of American College of Cardiology are warning us, I just tell you, most people won't get the memos. The doctors, they ought to read the Journal of American College of Cardiology. They read this study and they go, holy moly, everything we're doing is not helping. We're getting worse. Metabolic health is getting worse, not better. It used to be 12% of the population. 88% were bad. And that was 2015, I think. And now it's 93% of the population and less than 7% are healthy metabolically. They're not optimal. I want you to be optimal health. Best prevention in the world is that. And you can actually measure it. You can measure it with looking at the right blood test. You can tell. And guys, you know, I get excited because it's right in front of us. The iceberg is right in front of us. We can avoid it. Okay? And we don't want to be like the captain of the Titanic. What was his name? Smith? You know, like, don't worry, be happy. You're on the Titanic. It's unsinkable. No. On its maiden voyage. I mean, talk about pride. It was on its maiden voyage and it went down. Okay, so do you want to be in that 6.8%? I do. Okay, talk about a goal, achievable. Get your A1C, 5.4 or less. How many thousands of people have already done that on the reset? Thousands. How many thousands of people have watched their blood pressure come down on the reset. Thousands of people. How many thousands of people have watched their triglycerides come down and their HDL go up? How many thousands of people have seen their inflammation markers, their CRP, come down? It's achievable, guys. It's doable. And the key is food. It's switching your allegiance. I think tomorrow I'll bring you, I've been doing a deep dive on fiber, okay? Because I found another serial killer I'll talk to you about. But guys, get off the Titanic. Get off the Titanic. You can do it. It's doable. And it's not complicated. It's not complicated. There weren't enough lifeboats on the Titanic. Did you know that? There weren't enough lifeboats. It was sad. But guys, there's a lifeboat for you. And it starts in, well, someone said at the grocery store. I like to use the expression, it starts in the kitchen. It starts with choices you make every day. And it's not complicated. Because what's making you ill, or making, when I say you know what I mean by that. What makes us ill primarily is we have nutrition upside down. We're eating like the food pyramid, and we look like the food pyramid. Heavy. Small head, heavy body. Okay? No, but guys, it's because we have it upside down. They lied. The food companies, lied, and people died. And they're dying still today. They're dying. This will kill you. This will kill you. And we can change it. We can change it. There's hope. Okay? There's hope. Take a blood test. Prick your finger. If it comes out red, there's hope. You can change it. I've seen it happen tens of thousands of times. People taking charge of their own health. Don't rely on your doctor. Okay, don't rely on your doctor. You shouldn't do that. Rely on yourself. Use your doctor. I'm not against you. You can't even get a blood test without a requisition. Okay? So it's not a matter of relying on your doctor. It's a matter of using your doctor. Doctor, I want you to do these tests. And by the way, I would add this only because you know me. And this is metabolically, I didn't even mention it because it's not mentioned in this study. But I believe part of metabolic syndrome is low levels of vitamin D. I'm convinced of that. Low levels of vitamin D. What's vitamin D got to do with metabolic syndrome? A lot. A lot. People who get heart disease, people who get cancer, people who get Alzheimer's, and people who get diabetes, and people who get autoimmune. Here's what they have in common. They not only have metabolic syndrome, but they have low levels of vitamin D. Almost without exception. Therefore, we at the Martin Clinic characterize vitamin D as a metabolic marker. Your dehydroxy-25. Leave it to medicine to give it a big name. How about just calling it, what's my vitamin D levels? Okay. Your serum vitamin D. It's so important to know that. And you know, it's crazy, but a lot of places, they want you to pay for it. Okay? Insurance, they don't want to pay for it. Maybe they do. Some do and some don't. I know in Canada, it's almost like you got to bring a doctor and have their teeth drilled without anesthetic before they will give you, do a little check mark to get your vitamin D done. Because the only thing they think of is, oh, this is for your bone health. What are you worried about your bones for? I'm not worried about your bone. No, vitamin D is a metabolic marker. I add it to the list. You want to know what that is, and you want to get it optimized. And this is why, this is what we talk about. This is prevention, guys. This is prevention. It's action. You can take action. And like I say, you need a doctor, so use your doctor in the right way. And, you know, in all due respect with them, be respectful. It's not their fault in a lot of ways. They just don't know better. They haven't been trained. Vitamin D to them, that was 1 minute in medical school. No, it was 2 minutes. And they spent the 2 minutes telling doctors in medical school how dangerous vitamin D is. And I'm not kidding you. Ah! I want to scream. Ah! But that's what they learn. And they learn, okay, here's what they learn in medical school. You can't live without carb. The 1 hour that they get, if they're lucky. You can't live without carbs. Your brain needs carbs because you can't live without them. So feel sorry for doctors, guys. Feel sorry for them. They don't know any better. They didn't take nutrition. I feel sorry for them. Okay. I want to teach them. If they would only listen, I know that some do. We got doctors on here this morning. I know that for a fact. Okay? And they're open. They want to learn. God gave you a brain, doc. Use it. You're smart, but you ain't that smart. You don't know. You admit you know nothing about nutrition. Okay. Okay, guys. Did you have fun today? Are you part of that what was it again? 6.8% of the population? It's something to shoot for. Where you want to be metabolically healthy. Okay? Metabolically healthy. It's doable, guys. Okay. I know I haven't told you since yesterday that I love you, right? I haven't. So I'm going to do it again this morning. We love you dearly. Thanks for making this program. Okay? You have no idea. Okay? The success of this. Over 4 million downloads. And counting. Okay? We thank you for that. Share it, guys, because that's what happens. People just word of mouth, talk about it. And common sense, guys, I'm telling you, I'm going to bring you the news behind the news. Health news. And I'm going to give it to you from a different point of view, just about unheard of. But I'm committed to it. And I thank you for our loyal audience. Man, you guys are unreal. We appreciate it. Now, again, one of the things in education is really important is that you ask questions. Okay? So we're open to all your questions. And we have a format on Fridays, question and answer Friday, right? Which is always popular. And we thank you ahead of time. Send in your questions, guys. We love you dearly. Talk to you soon.